DSA is officially on the regime list. It always has been.
To make the police look bad. Another group right now that is behind Antifa and working with Antifa very closely, based on the research that we have right now that we're going to give to you and your team, are the Democratic Socialists of America. Also known.
Who's this? I can't. Who is this person with the long hair?
Known as DSA. Again, these far left progressive groups tend to be aligning themselves with Antifa. So finally.
All right, we'll take a look at this bullshit. How's our Antifa meeting going?
And they're getting no help from their government at all. They've been begging for the noise ordinance to be enforced outside of their apartment complex for months now.
Is this literally just a content creator meeting? Like, is it just Trump and a couple cabinet members fielding every prominent neo-Nazi on Twitter so they can all talk about how Antifa is the greatest threat America's ever seen?
Like you're foolish, like there's something wrong. Like, how could President Trump be saying that about Chicago? And yet the night before you see that, 11 people were shot, 5 people died, and you have him talking about like it's a wonderful situation. They make you feel guilty.
The panel guests asked Nux Taku for evidence against Hassan. Is Nux Taku here?
And a lot of people don't get over that. They just don't get over it. I think they convince the people. Do wealthy people leave too or not? Places like Portland, are the wealthy people leaving? People that can leave, are they leaving?
So you're a
I think that they're moving to areas that have been gentrified. I mean, the Oregon governor, when she was saying, we don't need Trump here, she's walking around. It's a very tight shot, if you notice that. And she said, Portland's just fine. Look at me. And they'll focus on the couple areas of Portland that are very nice.
And there were explosions in the background.
Yeah. I mean, there was a reason they cropped it in.
Explosions in the background.
Sir,
anybody have anything else to say over here?
Yeah, well, just the protesters that you... Oh, sorry.
And then we'll get, should we be taking questions or is it just a waste of time? Because they can ask questions, but, well, there's Brian, he's good. But you know what? In a way, it's a waste of time because if you give a great answer, they don't put it on. If you give a horrendous answer, or even if you give a great answer, they make it sound like it's not a great answer. They're very dishonest. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, and I think part of that dishonesty comes from what they see. For instance, I've never been asked to go on any other show besides Fox News. My clips go viral everywhere, but they've never even asked, like CNN's never asked, MSNBC's never asked.
Oh my God.
And a lot of times when I go to hotels, I'll stay and I'll watch like MSNBC.
Fortunately, their ratings are terrible.
They are terrible.
MSNBC is dying and CNN is dying like a dog.
And
poor CNN, it's so pathetic.
It is very pathetic.
You ever see their anchors in the evening? That nobody ever heard of them. Where do these people come? I could take anybody off the street in Washington, D.C. that do a better job.
Yeah, and it's not hard to show what's going on these days. You literally have an iPhone and you can post it on X.
They don't believe in the star system. Yeah.
Who is this person?
It's one of those things, right? Okay, Nick, you finished, Nick?
Yeah,
Are you
very
finished,
much.
Nick? Good job. Thank you very much. Well, you've been through hell, I tell you that, but you're really incredible patriots, incredible people. Go ahead, please, Brian. Brian, go ahead.
I'm so thankful for each and every one of you here right now, and I'm very grateful that my network, Real America's Voice, has partnered up with many of you. Jack Sobin, you have a show on a network. Many of you, Savannah, have appeared on a network as well, so thank you for being here. My question is this: in terms of following the money, I would just notify that the city of Austin is cleared to vote tomorrow to basically waive a $120,000 fee so that a No Kings, basically an anti-Trump rally, can occur in their city. They're bypassing the fees, rolling it to the taxpayers. So my question is to you, what can the people of Austin, Texas do right now to make sure that their tax dollars don't fund a No Kings anti-Trump rally coming up?
Well, you just tell me that I would love to do something about that. Bring a lawsuit, do something. The best thing you can do is have honest elections, because the elections are totally rigged in so many of these places. You take a look, the people, they're all loving you. They can't breathe. They love so much, every one of them. You don't see one negative, then all of a sudden you lose the election by 20 points. The elections are so rigged, and we proved that in 2020 more than any other time. But even the last election, there were areas that I won by much more. We won in a landslide, but I actually...
It looks like we've reached the point on this Antifa panel where it's just naked sycophantry, which frankly, after the beginning of this stream, I've had enough of. Let me go back a little bit towards its beginning. Let me see the noble intentions with which this retard jamboree began.
Just dealing with people from the Middle East, our people and other people on the potential peace deal for the Middle East. Peace for the Middle East, that's a beautiful phrase, and we hope it's going to come true, but it's very close. And they're doing very well. We have a great team over there, great negotiators, and there are unfortunately great negotiators on the other side also. But it's something I think that will happen, got a good chance of happening. I may go there sometime toward the end of the week, maybe on Sunday, actually, and we'll see. But there's a very good chance negotiations are going along very well. We're dealing with Hamas and many of the countries. As you know, we have all of the Muslim countries are included. All of the Arab countries are included. Very rich countries and some that are not so rich, but just about everybody's included. It's never happened before. Nothing like that's happened before. And our final negotiation, as you know, is with Hamas. And it seems to be going well.
Okay.
So we're crazy, frankly. Shooting one Texas officer in the neck. And in Portland, Oregon, Antifa thugs have repeatedly attacked our officers and laid siege to federal property in an attempt to violently stop the execution of federal law. Everything we're doing is very lawful. What they're doing is not lawful. And what the governor and the mayor of, as an example, you could say of Portland, and you could say certainly of Chicago, it's not lawful what they're doing. They have to be very careful. In addition, 2 weeks ago, radical left terrorists in Dallas conducted a sniper attack on a local ICE facility, killing 2 people and leaving behind a note that read, "Hopefully this will give ICE agents some real terror." That's bad. This attack came the very same month that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by a far-left extremist who inscribed the words, "Hey, fascist, catch," meaning catch the bullet.
Well, hold on. Wait. Thank you for clarifying that. You're so right.
Onto the bullet shelf itself. The epidemic of left-wing violence and Antifa-inspired terror has been escalating for nearly a decade at universities.
You know, to the point that I was making earlier, by the way, about the availability of the president, there is no reason why a Democrat shouldn't be talking like this all the time. I mean it. Like, every day, a Democratic president should come up here and read from a litany of recent crimes committed by far-right individuals. Talk about... You had that timed, Benjamin. Thank you. Also, congrats on the win with PV. Thank you. Thank you. No, it's petty lol. It's not petty. It's politics. You need a main character energy. You're the president. You need to be directing people in the right direction. You know, you have to be working with the media to forcefully create an image for the future.
Antifa has organized riotous mobs.
Like, can somebody explain to me why Democrats don't like constantly talk about far-right political figures being caught as pedophiles? Trump's faith advisor in the first term and a close confidant of his, a mega preacher, was recently caught with child pornography on his computer. That happened just a couple of months ago. He was sentenced. Why do Democrats not bring this up? Seriously, why not? What could they possibly lose by bringing this up? Do they think they're going to lose Democratic support within the far-right pro-pedophilia evangelical base? All those people vote Republican.
Attack campus speakers, I see it all the time, and these are agitators, anarchists, and they're paid. And you'll find that out. You'll be finding it out very soon. You should see what we have on these people. These are bad people. These are people that want to destroy our country. We're not going to let it happen. They've used armed gangs to their extreme because they believe in God.
Because weak Democrats have turned a blind eye to their actions.
Legacy media has looked the other way.
He didn't just have CP, he was molesting a 12-year-old girl and got 6 months. Well, that's the justice system for you.
these violent criminals. I believe one of the ones that I did a ride along with Secretary Noem yesterday, President Trump, and there was a pedophile that had come into the country 5 times.
Oh, he's talking about it.
Times over the past 7 years. 7 years. And apparently under the Biden regime, that was just allowed to happen. That was fine. No problem. It's concerning to me that you're seeing the Portland Police Department, as well as the governor of Oregon and the mayor, of course, coming out and running defense for pedophiles that have entered the country illegally 5 times. It's crazy. I'm glad it's taking a front row seat in the media. And, they're being forced to talk about it in reality because, we're the ones that were on the ground. We're the ones that are actually reporting what's going on.
Who's this guy again?
Much of the legacy media has been either ignoring it or covering for Antifa for years now. So thank you guys so much for taking this seriously. And President Trump, you mentioned that flag. So remember, you put out a truth right after
That's right. I saw that.
Took this flag from that man that was burning it in the street.
Okay.
Do you know who he is?
Oh yeah, I know exactly who it is.
So why don't you give it to Pam? Give it to the Attorney General, and let's start
Just hand it directly to the Attorney General.
prosecutions.
Yeah. I actually have a second flag that he tried to burn as well. So I have 2 of them from the same guy.
Well, you also saw what happened when that flag started burning. Everyone went crazy. And that's when it started, when they started burning the flag. So thank you. If you could give the information, it would be great.
Absolutely.
And at least that horrible night made you famous. You got
He was
something.
already
I got a text from the President of the United States, so I appreciate that.
And President Trump, after that happened to Nick, I called Harmeet Dillon and we opened a pattern and practice investigation into the Portland police very publicly as to how they let this happen.
Stephen Miller looks so bored. Probably because he's actually ideologically a fascist and he's aware of the fact that he's surrounded right now by embarrassing clout sharking grifters who are just here to, like, promote their YouTube channel next to the president.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. President, Brandy Cruz, you're going to hear us be very fired up today, and you can tell, and it's because some of us have been covering Antifa for 15 years and have never had anyone in a position of authority even acknowledge their existence. And I'll also tell you that I think that had you not done, the single most powerful thing you've done to deal with this scourge has been acknowledging that Antifa is a real thing. I genuinely believe there would be people at these tables who would be dead today and would have been killed in Portland had you not called them a terror organization and said we're going to bring the full weight of the federal government to bear. I talked to Katie Daviscourt in Portland the other day. She'd been assaulted all summer. And she said the same thing. They didn't seem quick to violence as soon as you made that designation. So they're thinking in their heads, they're worried. There's been 24 or so arrested in Portland. They don't want to go to federal prison. There's this video of them, one of them who was in the face of an ICE agent, and then he's in custody shaking. Once you take the mask off, they're nothing. And I was told by probably a dozen people not to tell you this. I'm going to tell it to you anyway, because it's relevant to what we're talking about. I'm living proof that you can recover from TDS. I had strong Trump derangement syndrome for probably 8 years.
She evaded me.
This is one of the reasons I recovered from it. And by the way, it's much better to not have TDS. I'm happier, I'm healthier, more successful. I even think I got a little more attractive after I got rid of my Trump derangement syndrome. Yes. I'm a reporter in Seattle, and frankly, I could not care any less.
Oh, this lady. Wasn't this the lady getting absolutely clowned on in those anti-ICE protests? We saw a clip of her, and it was really embarrassing. They're really pulling from the bottom of the barrel here. She's not like a massive figure or anything. Okay, now I have a little bit of a scale. Like Andy No was a big figure at least, but she's not. So I don't know what the standard is.
That's what any of you have to say about this meeting. Could not care any less. We're not here for you. I'm not here to convince any of you that Antifa is a real thing.
Speaking of Antifa, I've got a member of Black Bloc
you are
here.
never going to come to that conclusion because you don't want to see it. And you're going to go and you're going to say it's a bunch of right-wing conservative influencers who are here spinning a tale. I was one of you. I was a mainstream reporter in Seattle for 10 years.
Antifa.
I was a TV reporter on the streets doing my job, and I was still assaulted by Antifa. So it's not about being conservative. It's about people who go there and show what they're doing. And when I saw, after all those years, that the media wouldn't be honest about what was happening, that Democratic politicians wouldn't be honest about what was happening, I thought, well, gosh, if they're not being honest about that, maybe they're not being honest about President Trump either. And it opened my mind to just looking at things for what they were. And now I find you quite funny, actually. Now it's like I said, I'm much happier about it. But, you know, for me, again, I could not care any less the stories that they
It's really easy to tune this lady out. Yeah, because none of them are actually here to advance the broader project of taking over the country or even designating Antifa as terror groups, you know? They're all just here to promote themselves. Like, why else would they be here? It's literally an excuse to get together a bunch of on-the-ground right-wing reporters. Trump doesn't seem particularly interested, apart from the bits that are flattery. Yeah, it's like a podcast appearance, you know?
Print. This is what I care about.
With their faces covered. This is 4 years before COVID. Some of them were waving the black flag of anarchism, some the red flag of Marxism. And within seconds, they would ravage one street to another, to another, to another. And the next day, I would read the legacy media, which I still read at that time and looked forward to, and I looked up to those journalists. And I was really shocked to see that the narrative was that these, in my view, anti-democratic political violence was legitimate acts of protest because people were concerned about racism or all these other lies. And so for the next...
Why is he talking like this? Is it the fake accent thing? Why is he... Why is he so uncharismatic? He's literally media trained.
4 years.
He's talking like Elon, you're right.
Continued going out with my video camera. I thought, look, people can ignore what I write. So one of the symptoms were...
I don't know what could be worse than Portland. You don't even have stores anymore. They don't even put glass up. They put plywood on their windows. But most of the retailers have left. But Washington, D.C. was so bad.
Andy Ngo was born in Portland, by the way. Yeah, Andy Ngo, the Asian guy who was just talking, is an American born in America. He puts on a British accent because he thinks it makes him sound smarter. We've heard him without the accent before. He just fakes it. It's just like a weird personal thing.
And Pam, I'd say it took 12 days to really make it pretty good and a month to make it great. And now people are going out to dinner. The restaurants are booming.
My entire account immediately. I was censored for my reporting on Antifa here in Washington, D.C. You were talking about how safe it is now, Mr. President. It wasn't so safe back then. Back in 2020, I watched as a father was being mobbed and surrounded by Antifa members as his terrified, crying children looked on and the police here did nothing. I watched as a woman had her hair violently ripped out of her skull simply for waving an American flag on the streets of Washington, D.C. And by the way, if you guys try to go and find any of this footage, you won't find any of it because Twitter deleted all of it because our president shared my reporting and they deleted my entire account immediately after. So now, if you want to know what happened in 2020, all you're going to see is the media headlines that said that it was fiery but mostly peaceful. Thanks for that one, CNN. The reality is that it was an extremely violent period of time, and for the last 10 years, Antifa has been wreaking havoc on law-abiding and innocent American citizens, and it needs to end. Now, I'm with Turning Point USA. It's an honor to be here.
Just the Soros Network, the Open Society Network, it's other funding networks, the Arabella Funding Network, the Tides Funding Network, Neville Roy Singham and his network, Foreign Cash. And it's also big left-wing funders. Some of them are not citizens of this country. Mr. Hans-Jörg Wyss of Switzerland. They're pouring money into this entire ecosystem. And so I want to share 3 money facts with you about what we call rioting.
3 money
Number
facts.
1, like any corporation, rioting has many divisions. It doesn't just have the Antifa.
Is this really winning anyone over? God, no, fuck no. Absolutely not. If there is anything on earth that I am sure of, it is that this is not moving the needle even remotely in their direction. It is literally just a promotional event for these on-the-ground reporters. It has nothing to do with and does not advance the agenda of designating Antifa as a terrorist organization or whatever else. It has nothing to do with that. It's entirely just like... I mean, it's not bad strategy in the sense that you do want to promote these people, but I don't think it's going to move the needle very much. Unfortunately, like the consequence of all of them being grifters is that all of them are kind of like the same guy. You know? They're all the same person. Like, why would anyone watching this shift to any one in particular? What's the who are they? Who's favored here? You know, they're indistinguishable. They all do and say the exact same things. They're not personality driven. They're just delivering the same talking points.
Boots on the ground division. It has PR divisions. It has marketing divisions. It has a very well-funded legal division to get these boots on the ground.
A clip from this roundtable of Posobiec saying that Antifa goes back to the Weimar Republic. That's really funny.
So much for having us here today and holding this this roundtable. Antifa is real. Antifa has been around in various iterations for almost 100 years in some instances, going back to the Weimar Republic in Germany.
Curious. Why would you say that? Why would you admit that? I don't like that. No, there's no world in which saying that benefits you in any way. And there are many worlds in which it doesn't benefit you. I guess it's just like when you're a Nazi and you interact almost exclusively with other Nazis on Twitter, this shit just comes naturally to you. You know what I mean? Our great enemy, you trace their origins all the way back to the Weimar Republic, the failed German state. You know, it's the rhetoric slips off the tongue a little easier.